This is the first video to section 2.5. You'll notice we discuss common terms such as mean and median. In this video, we are going to discuss certain notation. You'll notice the X bar up here, and this represents our sample mean. We have another mean or average, and that would be our population mean, which is represented by the Greek letter mu. The law of large numbers states that if you take a very large sample size and you take a larger and larger sample size from any population, the sample mean is very likely closer and closer to the population mean. Our capital M here represents the median, and our small n represents the sample size. Recall when we found the median earlier, and one way we can do that is to take the sample size, add 1, and divide it by 2. And then there are two different outcomes in how to find our median here, whether we have an odd number of data points or even. Consider example 16. With the number of months patients typically wait on a transplant list before the surgery. Our data is already ordered from smallest to largest. We're asked to find the mean and the median. Recall, to find the mean, you have to add up all of these pieces of data and then divide by the number of pieces of data. In this case, there are 39 pieces of data. Notice we'll use X bar here for the mean, since this is a sample. We added up the number of months and we divide by the number of data points, and we'll get approximately 13.95 months. Now we're also asked to find the median, and one way we can do this is to use our formula, and we have 39 pieces of data here, so we'll plug that in for n, which means our median is going to fall at the 20th term. And if you actually count up to the 20th term here, you'll find 13. Moving on to the next page, we'll consider example 17, where we have a sample of 61 households, where one house is worth $2.5 million, and half of the rest are worth $280,000. All the others are worth $315,000. Find the mean and the median. Notice our sample size, or our n, is 61. We need to add up all of the values of the house in order to find our sample mean. So one of the houses is $2,500,000. 30 of the houses are $280,000, and the remaining 30 are $315,000. And once we add all of those up, we are going to divide by our sample size, which is 61. Now remember, this is just a sample, so we need to use the notation for sample mean. Solving for our sample mean, we will get about $333,606.56. To find the median, we have to find the very center piece of data. And we can use our formula again. Our data points plus 1 divided by 2. In this case, our median is the 31st term. So if we order our terms from smallest to largest, the median will be 315,000 because that would be our 31st term. The question then asks us which is the better measure of the center of our data, the sample mean or the median. In this case, the median is a better representation. And the reason for this is our median is not affected by the outlier $2.5 million. Keep in mind, when solving mean and median, we have a very quick, simple way to do this on our graphing calculator. Take a look at another term that represents our measures of center, and that's the mode. Our mode is the data value that occurs the most. Now, there can often be more than one number that occurs the most. Perhaps there are two numbers that occur equally and the most. In this case, we would call that bimodal, meaning the set of data has two modes. Example 18 asks us to find the mode of the following numbers that represent the number of books checked out from the library from 25 students. Which number here occurs the most? And the mode here is 7. 7 books were taken out the most often. In example 19, we're asked to consider annual earnings of workers at a factory. The mode is 25,000, and it occurs 150 times out of the 301 workers. The median is 50,000, and the mean, or the average, is 47,500. In this case, what would be the best measure of the center? Well, since 25,000 occurs nearly half of the time, the mode would be the best measure of the center. The mean and the median don't represent what most of the people make at the factory. Sometimes you're going to have grouped data, like in example 20 below, that shows the percent of underweight children and the number of countries in the study that has this certain percentage. When you are trying to find the average or the mean of grouped data, what you must do is find the midpoint of each group. Remember, midpoint is taking the lower bound and adding it to the upper bound and dividing by 2. Once you find the midpoint for each piece of data, you need to multiply it by the number of times it will occur. So we need to take each frequency and multiply it by the midpoint. Notice the 3 dots imply that I quickly added up the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th, everything in between these two values and these two values. You need to divide by the total number of pieces of data. So you would add up this column and you'll have 50 pieces. This is a sample mean, and doing this computation here, we will get our average to be 26.75. And that's the end of our video for section 2.5.